Rabbi Wein, what led you to accomplish so much in your life? Most people do not accomplish even half or a quarter of what you have done. Please share with us what it took, what inspired you. He says as follows. The year was 1946. I was living in Chicago. It was right after the Holocaust, World War II, about a year afterwards. The chief rabbi of Israel was coming to Chicago. His name was Rabbi Yitzchak Halevi Herzog. The entire Chicago Jewish community came to an auditorium to hear and to see the chief rabbi of Israel. I was a little boy then, but I knew this was big. And I came with my father. He began with a Torah talk on halacha. He concluded his talk with words of inspiration. Rabbi Herzog said as follows, I want to tell you where I'm coming from. I just landed in Chicago this morning from Rome. What was I doing in Rome? I was meeting with the Pope, Pope Pius. In my pocket, I had with me a list of 10,000 Jewish children's names. These children, these Jewish children, were put into monasteries and churches during the war by their parents. The parents were hoping that the only way our children could survive, hopefully, is by being hidden in these monasteries and churches. And maybe after the war, if we survive, we'll retrieve them. And if it's not us, maybe another family member or friend will go to the churches and find these children and raise them as a Jew. Unfortunately, there were 10,000 that I know of, he says, that have no family members to claim them. I came on behalf of all these families to the Pope, and I said to the Pope, give me back my children. These are my children. The Pope responded, Rabbi, you know I can't do that. They have all been baptized. And once we baptize the children, they're Christians. They're not Jewish anymore. They're ours. Rabbi Herzog says, no, these are my children. A Jew is always a Jew. They're mine. Give them back. Deaf ears. Pope Pius didn't listen. Whereupon, Rabbi Herzog, in front of all of us in this auditorium, his head fell onto the lectern, and he began to cry copious tears. There wasn't a sound in the auditorium. And for several minutes, we all just stood there, watching and hearing Rabbi Herzog cry. A few minutes later, he lifted his tear-stricken face and he pounded the lectern and he said, what will you do for these 10,000 children? What will you do for these 10,000 children? Do you hear what I'm saying? What will you do for these 10,000 children? With that, he ended his speech. Rabbi Wein says, my father took my hand and he brought me up to the podium to meet and to greet and to give Shalom Aleichem to Rabbi Herzog. And he extends his hands to me and he says, what's your name? I said, Beryl. He says, Beryl, did you hear what I said tonight? What will you do for these children? No, what will you do for these children? But I had nothing to answer. But I'll tell you this. Forever, it was etched in my mind. What will I do for these children? And this is what motivated me throughout my life. to never stop writing, never stop speaking, never stop learning. Why? Because what will I do for these children?